Welcome. Today we have another very important topic: how an existing business go online. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in time. We'll jump into the topic because so much of things to know in that aspect to discuss today. Okay, and thank you once again, all of you, for all the comment, all the feedback. And I think you have been referring so many people to participate in this program. You invited so many entrepreneurs or already running a retail business or they're already into another business. You're inviting them, and I think most of them are attending today. I'm glad that is. We'll discuss about this pandemic time, how you can digitalize your business and survive, or maybe make a progress by digitalizing your existing business. That's a major topic today. We'll be discussing about it. And what are the procedure? So a couple of days ago, we discussed about how you can start an online business from the scratch, even without you don't have any products, or if you don't have absolutely no idea, completely a startup from home, you can do as a Soho business, or you can do a startup business. And that aspects we discussed about so many days, right? But today we are specifically talking about an existing business going online. An existing LDR, someone is already running a business, how he can digitalize, how he can make it online presence, as well as even online become a commercial aspects. And what are the procedure, especially on a strategical part, especially on a management part. That's the topic we'll be discussing today. So what are the do's and don'ts is to take care, and especially this pandemic time. So there is so many companies, so many organizations, so many retailers is planning to go online, and someone's already online, and how we can scale it to next level. So that's a major topic, the portion before we go on a promotion of the business aspect. Okay, as usual, I'll take you by slide. Okay, great. So today we are 15th of July 2020. I'm in Doha live, in Doha, Qatar live, and the 13th day of our 100 days digital mastery program. And so today the topic we are discussing about, should your business be online? Okay, your existing business, how you can convert to an online business, or at least how you can start an online branch, or an entire business, how you can digitalize. These are the aspects we'll be discussing in detail today. Now, so all of you know, existing business already online, especially in the lockdown period, especially because of the pandemic. Even most of the businesses try to do something online. Those who could do that, they could adapt it, they could survive. You might have noticed those who are not done it, they're in a very bad shape, and even their inventory, in their stock, is an issue now. So it's very important now. Every company, every retailer, every business organization to making as a digitalizing or going online. So why it is, when you ask, so many reasons are there. Even before the pandemic situation, when you look at it, there are a lot of consumers is basically go online and take a decision to purchase, and they often go for a review. That's a very common habit of most of the consumers. So 91% of the consumers regularly go for a reviews and check it and take a decision. And people trust online reviews as much. They basically, majority of them is who coming in the Google first page, they trust that reviews. As you know, when we discuss about the SEO, we'll discuss about most of the reviews come from digital marketing companies and consultants, but people do trust the reviews. Okay, and that especially the local businesses, they were trusting about the local reviews, or a Google search local, or a classifieds, or a forums, and a Quora. Other thing they should use to trust us. Okay, now even when you look at the growth wise, all the businesses, existing businesses going online, and you can see that it was very high even before pandemic. Now, during these occasions, now more and more businesses are going online, and digital economy is really growing, irrespective of all other issues. Okay. Now, here is a technology help us to save so many things, and technologies help us to do in a complete. If I talk to you 5-10 years ago, I need to really go and pursue the consumers or pursue the clients. Hey, you want to go for a digitalization? The many people ask, I already have a website. What more I can do? So today, when you look at it, is technology help us now to reach market like never before. People are online, people are connected to social media. Everybody have a mobile phone, and it is around 5 to 6 hours they are with that mobile devices. So they're really helping us to reach out to the consumers. Okay. And it's also helping us to reduce the cost like never before. We never had this opportunity in the entire human history on a retailing part to reduce the cost this way. Okay, you can do completely online and reduce the cost on it. And the most important thing is the technology really increasing us to, and increasing the efficiency. It's like never happened in the history. So that's what an opportunity we have in. The moment you go online, your team, your operations, your procedures, your marketing effort, your branding, everything. So you're increasing the efficiency of that part. Now, what are the steps? Many people, this is one of the, as being a consultant, this is one of the great opportunity I always get. Many people wanted to digitalize. So I put a lot of points as my experience has been digitalizing many of the companies. I think approximately around 300 plus companies actually I digitalized, their existing retail business, and I wasn't under the process. I partnered. I used to have this package. The people, okay, 3 months and 6 months, I work with you you go online. So that included that experience here. What I faced through during these activities. I also added some other things. The points, entrepreneur's point of view, even the employee's point of view. There are many people work in the organization. They usually feel a little uncomfortable on it or digitalizing. So I also added that points, how we resist, how to handle, etc. Okay. Now, why go online? That's the main question many people ask. Now, I don't have to tell you the reason. There's no other option. People ask to go online, right? But the question is, your business is ready to go online. That's an important question an entrepreneur or a business owner or a retailer or a manufacturer or a supplier should think about. Are you ready to go online? It is not just simply jumping to a website and starting. An implementation is a very, very tedious job. In fact, actually, I could tell you that it is easy to start something from scratch. You want to set up an e-commerce company, you can go for easy it is. But the moment you go your existing company to make it online, it's a challenge. The implementation processes has more process, actually, more tedious job, more things to be addressed compared to starting from scratch. So that's the reason we have different steps to consider for it. And it also includes a lot of money involvement. You should treat you starting under another branch. That's important part. You need to treat like you're starting another company, because it's just going online. You're in a lot of process, a lot of things change, and you can actually use this opportunity even raising the fund. And the moment you say I'm going online, people consider that as you're expanding, you're trying to make a more profit. Investors will be attracted to that. So you can think in it both way. One is this opportunity you take as raising a fund for not only going online, even for marketing all other parts. So my last part from the presentation, I'm talking about funding aspects, how you raise a capital. For existing business, very easy to raise a capital when you're going online. Okay, that's one. Second one is to go to the process, you record additional money. Okay, and it is very important for you to understand the cost involved. It is a lot of direct costs. There is a recurring cost. There are hidden costs comes with sometimes unforeseen, unseen. Lot of costs also will be involved with that. Now, the funding part is you take it as an opportunity. The moment you go online, you have an opportunity to raise a capital as well. So that's another good thing about going online. Okay. Now, why go online? So please try to answer for your business. Why go online? Because the first thing is now that across the globe, human beings change the buying habit. They need to go online and get the services and products. They have to get delivered to their places because of the pandemic issue. Even after the COVID-19 issue, post-COVID-19, you'll not have a drastic change. People are telling there will be a retail therapy, people go for shopping, etc. I don't think so. Suddenly that will happen, and people really wanted to have they got habit actually placing an online order and getting. So definitely that habit will continue for a certain extent. Obviously, after the vaccine, after everything is normal, other business also move, but people got a habit now, everything accessing through online, and they will continue. As you know, the moment you start using online, you always wanted to go back that, and most of the time you wanted to go back to the same method, right? So first of all, going online, it's not just having a website. There are many of the businesses. and they say, hey, I'm online, it means they just put a corporate website or just like a brochure like a website. Or even they not even put a proper contact details. They don't even know once in a year when the website is going to come for a renewal, that only, oh, there's a website. And they're not connected to the social media. They know digital marketing activities. That's most of the thing. Some companies only for just keeping in the business card purpose, they put some number, okay, some email IDs and URL they want to keep. So that's it. That's not the thing we are going to discuss about it. That is just you having another brochure or an e-brochure where you can call. What exactly you wanted to have a website? What are the features you wanted? What are the things you need to take care of an existing business to go online? You need to treat like a branch, as I mentioned. Another branch you're starting, another country you're expanding. That's the feeling you should have when you go online. Now, as you know, that is another reason why we need to go online is changing customers' preferences. As now we as an organization, we have to change. If you are not changing, that is, you may not be surviving the market. So, like all of you know the beautiful story of the Kodak. You've seen the social media viral. They did not adapt; they are out of the market. And earlier, they had around 70 to 80% of the market. They're dominating. They were controlling. They were monopolized. But the moment the change started happening, if you're not adapting, you will be out of the place. So that's important part. Now customers are also changing. Customer wanted a different kind of preferences. So as an organization, as a business owners, you need to change and you need to have this new method of serving the consumers. Another thing is that even your competitors are changing. That's another reason for you to change. Why you have to change? Because there are a lot of competitors that innovating now of yours to go online and taking the digital advantage. So if we are not doing, you'll be again in trouble. So we need to, to go with that. Okay. And of course, the trends when you look at today, digitalization is the trend. Everything going online. Another 2-3 years, you can see a huge change on doing your businesses, right? So this is an important part. Now, if you feel it is all of this is important to you, think about if your business is ready to go online. That's the first question you should be asking yourself. Is my business ready? So, as I mentioned, if you're starting from scratch, an online business is much more easier than your existing business going online. So there are different steps for that. Now, that getting online, many people define, as I mentioned, they maybe go to social media and in a website and they try to do some kind of marketing activities. That's not the thing completely going online. That's only they're doing a kind of a marketing effort. I'm talking about effectively using them to getting a more customers. You need a more customers. Any business to survive today, more and more customers. So we need additional customers to come, and we also should educate them about your company, about your brand, about your value you provide, the services you provide, the USP of yours, and why you're different from others, and when I can deliver, and how often I can give you service, and what are the features of all the things we need to start educating to the consumer. So the consumers don't have much time, so that's the reason you can engage them through social media and email marketing or other activities as well. Okay. And you need them to buy, not only just educating them. You want them to buy from you, right? And of course, making a more satisfactory customers, and engaging with the consumers is more important to get back them to make them as a retaining them. Okay, and it's a lot of complaints and everything. This is one of the things now. All the consumers that take a frustrations or maybe small issues, whenever we get issues, they take it online. So this is one of the issue most of the businesses face these days. And unfortunately, all the people trust the reviews. So many people don't even know the many of the reviews from digital marketing companies. I worked as a consultant, I know how much money we spent on advertisement through online, and that is converted to review making. So many of the review which you read about a company, it's actually done by a company. Okay, so this way, people doing, but your competitor also play here a role. So there are many of your competitors will be doing a review about you very bad. So you need to handle that. There's something called online reputation management. So you need to take care of that as well. Okay. Now, is getting online is actually always helpful to do all this thing aspect. Okay. Now, it's going to change so many things you do for a business aspects. The moment you go online in existing businesses, how you do, it's going to change it in a drastic level. So be ready for it when you are ready to go online part. Okay. So first of all, your existing team may not be enough for you to go online. You may record a lot of new staff members because there is a different set of skills, experience, knowledge, outlook is required for a new business to go online. And if you're not taking that, you're trying to manage with an existing members. If they are skillful and experienced, still or you are investing them on a training, that's one other method. But I always prefer an organization point of view, even the team members point of view. Another outside person coming and digitalizing will be much better and than an existing staff going online. So many people think an existing staff knows it, and for him it's easy to go online. Actually, not true. Okay, because an existing person has a habituated thing is unless he came from another background, he was doing earlier online, then for some time he came to your place, and then I'm talking about a person traditionally was doing, and to digitalizing time, this requirement at least another one person to be given in charge, and an external person and a new person, and should be completely focused on that process. Your existing staff members usually have a problem. They already have an engagement. And partly, he does not have a quality time to think. He has quality time to strategize, quality time to coordinate each other. So that's the reason a new person is always advisable. Even you are giving to an existing person with a skill and train them and put into them maybe intensive training or send some places to study about it, then put him to that. Please don't give him any other responsibility during that period when he migrate and going online. So it is always to have a dedicated person. I prefer, especially you to have a treat as something new as starting and hire a person who is having an experience and on an online business. That's what I would recommend. Okay. Now you also need to start a new department. Okay, so the COVID-19 time, everybody is talking about reducing the department, reducing the salaries, reducing the manpower. Yes, but you need to form a department. This department will allow you to cut the staff and the cost of other departments. So you need to form a new department. In that new department, online department or a digital department or e-commerce department, you say it has so many. The technical people will be there. Depends upon what kind of a service you are taken. You'll have a social media person, you'll have a creative person, you have a content person, and so many persons will be there. Depends upon the scale of your business to move forward. Okay, so new department to be formed. Okay. Now the new budget. So usually you have a budget, your recurring budget, and initial budget will change. So you need to add the new department, new staff, new technology, new payments you're paying. So many things you put your credit card. So much of money will be going on a regular basis from the card. So all the things is an important aspect. Okay. Now you also need to rework on your plans you've made. As a business owner, you already have a plan. You already have a standard operating procedure, and you have an expenditure on all the things. You need to make rework the moment you plan to go online. So your existing business plan need to have a different, complete plan incorporated about the online part. Okay. Now you'll have a lot of new activities as a business owner. Your typical day will change because then new things will come up, new social media issues or new social media leads or a new inquiry from outside the territory which you never thought you'll get it. The moment you go online, that's a good thing. Your market is expanded across the globe. You might get customers. All the things become important. So this you need to understand. There are a lot of new activities, new meetings, new trainings, new facilities is a part of the organization. So people think all the things. Now, as a business owner, you may think you can new department, new staff, and new activities, new budget. You need to plan it. Is it worth it? Answer is yes. Even in all thing you do, it's worth it. You check in anything. If you properly do, it's worth it. And your local business become a global business. Even a local business is facilitating to the local area much more efficient way. So it's really worth it. But you properly implement it. That's the most important aspect. Now, you'll have a lot of challenges. And you'll also have different management matrices coming. Now, one is actually is important part. Your procurement process may be changed. Your production part will be changing. Your marketing aspect may change. And HR and finance admin should look into a different way. And sales guys will be the very happy people because they have a lot of leads. and become very easy for them to do. And CRM again, it's also easy for them. Okay, so this portion you may look into all the strengths and challenges and take a appropriate decision. So, what are the process to implement this? That's one of the challenge every organization face in the process part. First of all, so engage with the service provider very in a professional way to implement the platform. If you are not doing that, your digitalizing will be a disaster. You need to have a well plan. The moment you make it, there are many companies, they start online immediately when their offline business gets closed because they messed up, because the traditional things are going. You took the track and put in another thing, you're not there and you're not here. So that shouldn't happen. So make sure that is a good service provider help you to go online. And before you go that, the first thing I would recommend you is to do a kind of an audit. Okay, you think about your strength and weakness of your business and check that is how and what level I can go online now. If I start a website, an e-commerce website with a payment gateway, with the logistics support, can I deliver only the local or outside local? Or sometimes you may decide, I don't want a payment gateway, I take an order online through the phone and delivery time I'll collect the cash through POS machine. So it depends on what kind of a strength you have, what kind of businesses you have. Then you need to do auditing aspects. Okay, now the most important part is it should match with your vision. Because as you know, as an entrepreneur, you have a vision. So if it is not matching with the vision, not necessarily you go online. That's another thing. But actually, most of the time, 99% of the time, your vision will be matching with the technology, right? Because you want to grow, you want more efficiency, you want more profit, you want to more better branding, reach out to the most of the places, all the places we need to reach out. Okay. Now, next is when you look at it is another important aspect is your requirement list. You need to know what are the requirements to go online. So this list, most of the time, people do a wrong calculation, and people not completely list out what are the things I wanted to go online, and it will have a lot of surprises. Oh, I never knew this. I never knew this. I thought it would be easy, and they will, because most of the companies who digitalize you, they'll not give you a complete code. Okay, now we'll start this, later we'll start. But some of the things, without that, it actually no use for you. So that's the reason you need to have a requirement list. What are the requirement list? Like any other online business, you also should have everything. Like now, when you go for online, what are the business idea about it? So when you go online, you are doing it globally or locally, or you're only targeting online only for a set of kind of people. Make a business model, legal entity, products and services, potential target customers. This is actually, those who attended earlier know this is steps of this requirement of the online business. Same, but there's a slight changes. I'll come to that a bit later. So now you also need a domain name, website, and mobile app. Most of the time, the domain name you need the same brand. It's not about the keyword, not about the fancy name. It's about the same brand. You have an offline shop. What people call you as offline. Offline, you have an institute. Offline, you have a school. And what the people consider that's the name you need to protect. If you're not there, even you're buying a premium, because you already made a brand, even you can buy a premium and keep it. Then, of course, website. Some cases you may record mobile app. Some cases you only record a mobile app, not record a website. But content for that, your existing product going online is a tedious job. Not like other sourcing a product from a drop shipper. It's not easy that you can put an API and upload. So most of the time, supplier and manufacturer should give you the soft copy and each one to be there. If not, there are people you have to engage with the photographs and content and go online. This again, that's the reason the budget time, it's a challenge, but it's really worth it if you can think about it. Okay. Now, another part is important is the payment gateway, logistic arrangement, packaging, and CRM. So it's also a part of your e-commerce aspect. It's very, very important. So you need to have this one. And compared to other people, for easy for an existing businesses to get a payment gateway. Even arrangement has become easy, all the things. And CRM, you may have an existing CRM, but online CRM is completely different. You need to have that one as well. Then go to tools, techniques, tactics, methods, for your local business aspect. Okay. Now, this part, when you look at the business idea, business model, legal entity, of course, sometimes you need to go for an additional license for e-commerce. So if the moment you start an e-commerce, like in Qatar, You start an e-commerce, you need additional license. Existing license not enough. So you need to go on additional regulatory approval. Then products and services, potential target customers, make sure that you have this one. This, you really look at it, is June 27th, we had an orientation session. The notes are available online. You can actually download from there. Okay. Now, the legal part, please make sure that is taking care, your legal entity part and cyber law part you are taking care, and e-commerce rules you need to follow. That's most important aspect on it. And e-commerce regulation, you need to look into your existing business to go online. What are the things you should do? Take care. And you also take on any other regulations you comes under, depends upon the business you are, like educational institutions, healthcare institutions. There is an additional regulation will be there. Now, some cases, even you are running a business in a particular city and you're going for a global, as usual, you can also plan for offshore companies. That's the country, that's another branch in another country starting, and with an offshore banking. This is another part. Okay. Now, so particular target customers, you need to define that earlier. If you're a retailer, usually you know the consumers personally, and most of the shopkeepers, retail outlet especially, you know most of the customers, and you have when they come in, you know what kind of a segment she go. She's like this brand. Her basket size, she buy approximately this much one, and she would like to spend more of this section. So like this, you know, and you also know how often they come, what the timing they come. And retailers are very smart. Even their family background. When they come, you make them comfort, asking about how are you and how's your family and what happened to the your son passed or not. Now, like all these things, usually the retailers you see, the retailer, the business owners has a relationship in the physical world. They know, and it's not necessarily they're wrote somewhere. Like earlier businesses, everything in the owner knows and by heart. Now they know it is about that. Okay. Now later, recently converted a loyalty program and a membership program. That's where the employees and the people started doing it. But the moment you go online, the customers are not coming to you physically. They're logging from their devices at their comfort of their home. So when they do this one, you need to target that. So you need to define your consumers now, your existing consumers. You need to define. So it'll be very challenging for you if you are not there in social media. So the moment you make a social media, they're already connected. It's easy for you to reach out. Okay. So this is important, very, very important part, because the moment you go online, your approach, your rapport, all the thing is actually connected in online. So it's a completely different. You need to have a complete paradigm shift from physically you're entertaining the consumers, online you're entertaining consumers. So very, very important aspect. Okay. Now once you have all the thing, make sure that is domain website and this URL we discussed, setting up on that one. Okay. Some cases you may record a mobile application. Some cases you don't record a mobile application. Okay. So you tried on yesterday, a couple of days ago, we discussed about the content. Your content, your existing product going online is one of the tedious one. Most of the time, you need to take up informations like the brochures, content, everything is soft copy from the supplier itself, or the vendor itself, or a manufacturer itself, and they'll give you. Okay, that's one thing. Now, the content, when you make it, as you discuss, all of you know, I would like to recommend you to go and watch our content part on July 13. We have a digital mastery notes and recording is there online. Please go and watch about this one. So it will be help the people who have missed that session. Now, you also should do online digital marketing. Digital marketing is a very, very important role. The moment you go online, your existing customer should inform that I'm available now to you to serve in your place. Even a new competitor search for their name, they search your competitors, you should be ranking and to get that conversion to you. It is physical world, it was not possible for you. Here you think about it. You have two shops, your shop, another shop. People always have two choices. If I buy from this or buy from this one. Now, when he search your competitors on Google, you can come up. So like, for example, you can try, most of the cities you try, Hotel Marriott, Taj will come up, because that way they see you. So similarly, you can plan with your competitors, with the SEO. Even they search for a competitor, you can rank, which was not possible earlier, right? Because in the physically people can have choice to go. Here online, you can target that way. And plus, make sure that you rank in the Google first page do an SEO process, and tomorrow onwards, actually, we're starting online promotion activities. So you may wait for that one, but the point here is you need to be there going online, okay, with the Google first page. And in the local search, if you're a retail outlet or you're a local businesses, Google search in a Google local. So you need to plan how it will be, ranked, and the macro is linked to the time is mentioned. The one click they can call you, and your brand to be highlighted. Your review should be proper as part of the Google local search. So you need to really plan this one. Okay. Now you also think about the Google philosophy, how it works with your industry, and find the 200 factors which you can influence the Google and for your business, especially to protect your brand and getting a good ranking, good SEO keyword to rank. It's important for you to have one. Okay. Now, a few challenges usually come as the first is a payment gateway. The companies will ask you so many documents, etc. But compared to a new person, it's easy for you. And logistic arrangement, sometimes you may do yourself, sometimes you may outsource, sometimes you have to use another logistic provider. And packaging. Now, when people coming and buying from you, packaging is different. When you send them, it's different. But many of them, when I convert, this is a point of them is out most of the time. Because they say, I ask, okay, what are your packaging? Yes, we have a packaging. They usually give a plastic cover, which is not enough for you to send a product, right, to home, to their residence. So that's the reason of packaging, you need to have an additional investment. You need to think about what kind of a packaging you can have, and what kind of boxes, and what kind of a cartons you require. It's important to have it. And of course, your CRM, existing CRM, maybe maybe one person is handling or a guest relation person is handling. But here in the CRM, you need a connectivity to your social media, connectivity to your website. That's important aspect. Okay, you need to have this one. Okay. Now, there are tools and techniques and tactics you can use to promote your business, which I'm not covering now because tomorrow onwards we have a promotion of the business we are starting. So once you set up this business, you can go for a promotion of the business as well. Okay. Now, as an existing entrepreneur, you already have a business plan in place. But online, you need a separate plan. That's the point. That's an additional, separate, complete business plan you need to make it. That's the reason initially I said, treat like a branch. If you treat as a branch, and you need a separate plan, right? So you are starting an online branch. So that's what exactly your plan should turn out. So this, when you make as a plan, you also think about how your online business model works. So go and find out the July 2 and July 4th business model part. We discussed about how you can model it as, and all the points are there. Please watch if those are not attended. This attended is great. You have notes also to record on for your future reference. Okay. Now the business plan, once you have it, then you need to have a different strategy compared to your offline. So that is again a problem. Because you already have a local strategies, local business or retail strategies, we may not be able to sync with that strategy online. So you need to have something completely different. But it's always better to have a linking with that. That's the best thing. For example, you in the local newspapers or a local radio, you regularly advertise. You use some kind of a word, some kind of advertisement word. Everything on a plastic products or everything about healthcare in Doha, or everything is about the best dentist in the city. Like that, you are using the word. That should be a keyword as well. So someone type that one, you should come up. Okay, so for example, the shampoo which I used to buy, I always forget the shampoo name, but I remember that the advertisement, the 5 problems, 1 solution. So when I go to the place again, you have the shampoo. I always forget. Even now, I'm not remembering the shampoo name. But I remember that's the 5 problems, 1 solution. That's the shampoo, actually. I liked it. So even though I liked it, I'm not remembering. But I remember the punch word, the keyword. So I typed sometimes, search and find out, okay, this one. So similarly, what are the keyword you're using? What are the punch word or taglines you're using for your physical world need to be part of your online keyword as well. If someone typed that way, you should rank. So your competitors should not rank because you're putting a lot of money for a radio or a newspaper or a hoardings on all other physical of investment, which need to be strategized this way. This is the part of a 3I integration. There is a strategy in future we are going to discuss about, and that's something called a 3I strategy. In one of the strategy, we'll be talking about how you can protect that. Okay. Then technical infrastructure, what are the things you wanted? Beyond some cases, you may require a server. You may require additional lot of other requirement, part of your technical, you might, depends upon the business, some like a school. You have a lot of data protection, depends upon the country you are from. You cannot even host your server outside your state or a country. There are many government has a rule. Your server has to be in the same country. So in that case, you may have to look into make your cloud, or you're maintaining your own server. This become very important to you. If it is a large scale, definitely, but a small scale, you can always hire you can buy a SaaS model server. Okay. Then of course, setting up your mobile, a mobile app or a website or both. So you need to involve, and when you buy a package from a web designer, it may not be appropriate for your existing shop going online. So tell them specifically, these are my standard operating procedures. These are my product. These are my customers. This many number of products will be there. These are the transactions coming in. This is what I wanted to have. And additionally, I wanted to get more customers. Give a customized one. So that's always better. So to give you a customized package. Okay. Now, then, that time itself, you need to think about your promotional activities and product sourcing activities. This is a part of your digitalization. How you people come to your website is also important, which I'm covering tomorrow in detail. So product sourcing is also very important. Now, why the product sourcing comes here in the picture? Because your physical world, you already have a products. Now, when you go online, so the moment you're online, you're a global businessman. Your outlet is global. You may get the order anywhere in the world. Now, most of the companies, they say we don't sell to that country, which is as good as you're saying it is. I'm not giving you the business. I'm not making money. So once you already have inquiries, once you're already getting a leads, why should we leave that one? First one. Now, even if you wanted to leave, at least put an affiliate program in your website. You say, we don't have it to your city, but we have another provider. I'll give you the link. That's a beautiful thing every business owner can make. But they don't even consider that. There's nothing wrong in it, according to me, because, hey, you're from this country, I can give you a link, you can buy from there. It's an amazing thing. So that's the one. And now product sourcing part. Now, product sourcing, usually you are buying outside or a manufacturer place, and you bring to your place and keeping and selling. Now, for example, let's say your shop is in Dubai, and you are sourcing the product from China. So China you import them from China, and you put in a garage, you put in a retail outlet, the people come and buy, and you give them the products, and then from the garage again you add the stock, you keep adding the product as long as you're selling it. This is a process you do. Now customers are coming to you. Okay. Now same thing, same retail outlets of Dubai going online and people are purchasing. Now, instead of like in Dubai, a person comes and buys from you, instead of same person ordering from some other part of the world. So let's say he is buying from Russia. Now, existing your model is China products will come to you, and you have a garage, you have a godown. You from there you unpack it, or a retail outlet you take it and then send by courier to Russia. But here will change. You don't want the Chinese company to bring the Chinese products, the manufactured product to bring to Dubai. Instead, from China to Russia, it can directly go. So your sourcing process will change. So if you're doing a global, even not necessarily global, even you do like in the Middle East and North Africa, so the process is different. And plus, now traditionally they used to give you kind of an invoice and etc. That again can be going online, and plus every product you can ask a API for you to put up online. So sourcing product include the soft copies of the details. Okay. Then there are a lot of CRM tools for a consumer to handle. You need to have that as well. Okay. Now we'll go to the important part: a promotion of your business. The promotion of the business. So far, you're doing kind of a traditional method, or maybe you're using social media to reach out. But the moment you're online, you have a website, and people can buy online. We can get the deliver at home, and get the pay online. Your advertisement style, your promotional method has to add and change as well. Okay. Now, Another important promotion I'm not covering now because I told you about today. After this, finishing all the aspects, we can actually discuss in detail about our promotion today and tomorrow onwards. Okay. Now, all the things to do, the most important thing is you need to have a right service provider. That's the most important part. So to give you a website, to give you mobile application, to give you, the CRM tools, to give you social media solution, to give you SEO activities, email marketing platforms, and your creatives, and your server space, your domain name, everything is a very, very important for you to choose a right service provider. And it should be a support become very, very important, especially you're going online. And if you don't do that, even your physical existing business also get affected, your online mess up. So please make sure that is you have fantastic right service provider out there. Now, this one of the things I noticed is you need to include everyone in this implementation process. As you know, in your organization, you have so many people work in the organization, and they are good at certain part of that. If you're not participating, you may not look into many other aspects. And there is another issue, they may not cooperate as well. And they don't like it the way you approach. So make sure that is, if talking about the implementation idea with them, make them participation, involve them, implementation aspect on it. Now, one challenge you're going to face is your existing staff is going to resist for a change. As you know, most of the human beings, resist, and around 90% of the human beings actually resist for a change. I don't want to change. And they will have a lot of resistance, and showing that resistance and non-cooperation to the going, they try to procrastinate. Even there are occasions I noticed even people resign. Okay. So this staff resistance, first is you have to bring a participation, you have to invite their, their ideas, you involved in the discussion stage itself, budgeting part itself, and you also check with them what more they can do, and also tell them the benefit they get. You say, now once you go online, you work from home few days. You can go off, you don't have to come on Saturday. You can do this at home. And your comfort is increasing, your leads are increasing, your business is increasing. All the things you need to communicate and show the vision to the team members as well. So that's why you can reduce the resistance. Absence of resistance will be fantastic from that. Okay, do not expect that one. Because especially you have 10 to 20 people, 5 to 10 people will be resisting directly and explicitly, sometimes indirectly. Okay, so this is a part of the game. So you need to handle that. There is no other option. So this, keep in mind. So when you're sharing the beginning itself as an entrepreneur, you need to take care of this aspect. Okay. So there's a two problem usually you'll have. One is a resistance. And the resistance, one is they oppose, they be against. One is weak and not cooperating part. This portion, if you don't take it properly, it's another issue. Even after implementation of that one, they'll have a huge challenge on it. Okay. So we need to handle. There is no other option. We need to handle these aspects of doing it. Okay. Now, another important aspect here is when I go online, the problem here is I need an initial fund. There's an additional investment. Now, especially this time, everybody is thinking about cutting the cost. So here, when you decide to go online, you need an additional investment. You need an application. You need a mobile application. You need a website. So many other things comes up. So this way, one is how do you find this fund? Your existing fund, when you divert, it might affect your operations. It might affect your procurement. It might affect your credit facility because that's a fund. It depends on the size. I'm not talking about maybe $3,000, $5,000 you're investing and changing. I'm talking about a drastic change is doing, and plus a continuous budget to be allotted for a promotion as well. So how do you get these funds? That is a major thing part, right? Now, first of all, there's an opportunity, as I mentioned. The moment you wanted to go online now, especially in the COVID-19 time, there are not many investment opportunities are not there. If you are doing as a retailer, doing well, you want to go online, the easiest and fastest method is getting an investment for you. Okay, so different types we'll discuss about it. And even you have potential investors, this is a portion you are going to talk about it because you are expanding and you are generating more revenue. And the investor always see you as an experienced person because you're already doing this business, not like a startup is funding. You're already doing this business. It's a good for an investor's point of view. So now he need to think about how much the money you require. You need to think about how much money actually you require for online strategy, and which are the stages you want money, and when you will be talking to the investors for this one. And they need to treat it as slightly different. You are inviting to an investment in your company, and normally do not give out the percentage of your existing business. You need to treat separately. You can get an investment only to that one, also an idea. So it depends on a business. Sometimes it may not be possible, but you can always give up 15%, 20% of my online business. So what traditionally sometimes you built in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or sometimes your parents or your grandfathers made this business. So all the traditional value, the brand value, the strength which you have, it was on in terms of the business establishment, which is 15%, 20%, you don't have to share with a new person. You only talk about, okay, I'm starting an online branch, I'm starting an online division. Would you like to invest on there? That's a fantastic question you should be asking about it. Okay. Now, so here, this portion, you think about how it is relevant to you. Something you may not record an investment, so leave it. Something only $5,000. So someday you don't even record another person to invest. But there's also an opportunity for you to raise the capital to go online. And because you can talk to so many aspects. I'll tell you how are the measures you can talk about it. Okay. So first is you need to face it. What are the ideal funding phases? What do you want initially? Then second phase, third phase. And you need to include a lot of marketing budget, because when you're raising a capital, you get an opportunity. Now you say, my existing business, I want money for a market expansion. Usually people are reluctant to give you an advertisement alone, right? So here is online. You're saying I'm starting a division, so I want online marketing. This much is the budget. So that's a phase, in a different phase. You keep it, that money coming on, and make sure that you get a right investor. Sometimes they may not understand what you're going online. So those who understand that opportunity, they understand that vision, they can understand the terminologies you're talking about. Then they get the right investor for you to do implementation of an online business. Okay, now. And what to tell your potential investors and what not. That's another important part. Not necessary everything you have to present it. Okay, there are stages, there are challenges. What you speak to them. We'll discuss a bit later about how we do that. So it's an important aspect. Okay. Now, how do you get the startup funding? Where do you get the funding? And there are how you'll find the funders, and how you find the investors. That's one exclusive session we'll be doing in future in detail about how you raise a capital. But now, at this moment, we discuss about a few things like if you're an existing business owner, you're doing a good business, now you're going online, you can actually approach venture capital. Okay, so venture capital, that is even to the startup firms or a small business or a large firm, they fund and they look for a growth. When you go for IPO, that's the level they usually think. So if you have that kind of a business, even you can think about the venture capital. So you can get the venture capital for your organization, and the companies you can approach, they'll give you, but the problem is they take a lot of stake from you because they look good in the maximizing the profit. Okay. Now there are a lot of firms who raise the capital through venture capital. There's a few examples, so many examples who fund the venture capital and later they make a huge payment on it. Okay. Now, what are the most venture capital come from? That's many people ask this question. Where do I get this venture capital? So there are a lot of venture capitalists across the globe. Usually they are wealthy investors and a group of funds, and investment banks usually bring this kind of a money. It's up to you how you want it, what kind of a money you want, what kind of a level of investment you want it, and what your growth potential. But venture capitalists always look for exit strategy. They're not very keen on a big dividend. They're keen on now if I pay you $1 million, 5 years later, 10 years later, what your company will be valued. So if I pay you $1 million, can I take back 25 million? Can I back 30 million back? That's a question that either the investment bank or a venture capitalist will ask you on it. Okay. Now, now you can also get another option is you can pool of investment for multiple companies. That's another way of getting a venture capital or an angel fund as well. Okay. So venture capital is basically, when you look at last year and even this year, maximum venture capital is around 85 to 90% of the venture capital funding is went to online segment. IT segment. That's a good sign. You know why? If you have a small businesses now, you wanted to go online, not necessarily go to venture capital, but to raise a capital is a good option you have, right? Now, now you may have required a seed capital, initial funding to start with your online division. You can actually project as a completely new branch and do it yourself. And you may also say as a growth fund I want it because I'm already have everything. Now under growth fund because I'm going for digital, I'm expanding the market and have more number of products, more number of product lines, and I'm increasing the traffic and increasing the number of customers to go online. That's another option. Okay. Now, venture capitalists, as I mentioned, objectives are gaining from the IPO. If you are planning to grow that level, they're definitely interested. Otherwise, a local businesses, venture capitals may not be looking at this. But I'm not de-edifying, or I'm not decreasing the size of your vision. But usually they will not be looking. If you have that kind of a vision with a plan, definitely you can approach on it. Okay. So if you would like to know more about how you get a venture capital, or you want to talk to venture capitals and you want them to approach, and you can approach them, go to a website called mvca.org. You get a lot of details about. Then you can also have a people as a venture capital you can approach with your business plan, and you can communicate, and they'll also communicate with you. It depends on a business idea present into the website. Okay. Now, another category of the funding we can find, this is the easy in most of the time, is an angel investment. Now, you want to go online, you don't have money, and you already have a credibility of, you have already shop, you already have a business, you already proved that it's working, you have a number of staffs, and you are doing everything great. So then easy for you to get an angel investment. So there is a group of angels, like a different country. There's Dubai angels, there are London angels, there are Delhi angels, there is a Hong Kong angels, and a Sydney angels, and New York angels. Like you have a different angels in everywhere. You can go and meet them. Maybe you might wait for 2-3 weeks. Depends upon where you are from, what kind of a business, what kind of a communication doing. You can present and get the angel investment. So this is one of the easy way of getting the money. Okay. And what are this basically? This group. This people are the people, especially not like a venture capitalist. This people really do look for a profit, but it's not like what is the venture capitalist looking, and they'll be happy. All angel investors usually happy more than what they, the bank or the profit looking around, 30%, 40%. They'll be happy about to have it. And if you have a growth to show, that'll be amazing thing. Okay, so this is a angel funding part. Now. Even the angels usually come from our family circles or our friend circle. And one of the things which people say, you never do business with family and friends. I completely disagree on that actually. Okay, because I've seen a lot of examples, and in fact, majority of the examples in my experience who does well, much better. Okay, I'll do a case study to show you an examples of the few statistics. Actually, this is one of the things people say you don't do, but I disagree. I feel it is just opposite, because if you are planning to grow, and those who wanted to do part of the growth, it has to be your family and friends first. Yes or no? Instead of a strange investor. So the opportunity to be offered to the person to that, but of course it should be professionally managed. It should be presented to them properly. You should treat it as a business, to a plan, and make sure that is either it's a relative or a friend or a neighbor. He understood your business and he's investing to the business part. Of course, he'll trust you more, of course, but they need to understand your business model. So that's a way I feel it is. That's one of the best thing. Okay, why should you give to a stranger the opportunity? I would say, if you have things to come from, it just starts to be like this. Okay, so I have a beautiful case study on this one. A person had a choice to take it two-way, from the family or outside the family. Now, when I look back around 35 years ago, that's the decision he took it. Now, 35 days later, the effect the entire family got with that. I'll present to you in a later stage when you're talking about the investment, when you're taking with the family, things to consider. Okay, so that's I have this opinion, but the point is most of the time people say if things goes wrong, there will be an issue. That's exactly the problem you have to address in first. You need to tell them it might go. This is what exactly the business is all about. Okay, and another thing, if things goes wrong, they are the people understand us much better than anything, right? If a stranger will have a concern, is he really lost the business, or he's trying to fool me, etc. So this is That's in both way. But people immediately take it now with a few examples. Hey, this is not a good idea. Absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. Because if you are an entrepreneur, you feel your business works. You're you wanted to grow exponentially, and you're putting your 14, 15, 16 hours, and you're trying to bring it, and you're seeing the vision. And instead of giving to 15, 20% of your company to a stranger, it's always better to give to your family and friends and neighbors, and that's my point of view. Even same with the investor. You have money to invest money. Instead of going to invest some stranger, why don't you look at the person who's know you, and you know his background, you know his credibility, you know his skills, and it will be a great help for him to start with a sufficient capital to grow. So that's why you should be looking at this, right? But the arrangement, the contract, that has to be documented properly, and make sure that is both party understood the arrangement and profit and loss. And most of the time, the family friends, they don't take this seriously. They're not on a couch that, okay, can you invest money? I'll pay you this much. That should not be the serious. Even that discussion, you should have a witness and sign a contract, and make sure that is an investor understood the opportunity, investor knows the threat, investor know the risk. Entrepreneur, again, you have to you also know to protect his wealth. Don't take your relative before granted, because make sure that is you give a value. Think about it. So that's a point here. Is a very important. You need to take care of this one. Okay. Now the capital they provide can be it can be one-time injection of as a seed capital. One time you just want the money. Okay. Or ongoing support. So you can actually phase-wise also you can ask the money. And growth fund also you can ask it. So you can have a different way of raising a capital on this one. Okay. Now I don't need the angel investors for favorable terms than other lenders. Okay. Now angel investors come from where? So now actually more organized. Like how to say, so every city, every country, there are association. There are forums. You can register with them. They contact you. There are online facility, offline facilities. But before that, most of the angel funders will come from our friends and circle, non-circle, acquaintance circle, even our competitors. Now there are many occasions a competitor funded, for his new business, because people know as a competitors their efficiency. That's also important. So this is was the part. Okay. Now when I look back, actually, I'll tell you an example. My initial businesses, even today, many of my businesses usually come from angel investors to invest. When many people approach me, I need money to, as a consulting opportunity, can you help me to raise? So investment opportunity, I even take them a list from them. I tell, okay, I'll help you to raise it. I'll professionally approach. You tell me in your family cycle, in your acquaintances, your circle who are having money. Then professionally sending them. I'm a consultant, and he's his friend starting a business, and I'm hired. Actually, he think it is a person like you is the investor he wanted. Okay, so that's an approach you can always do this one. Now, I'll just tell you an example. Now, when I have my maternal uncle who started a business with an angel investment, when he borrowed from. One of the relative. Okay, so many people were opposing him. In my childhood, I never knew this story, but recently when he was recognized by our family meeting. Now he wanted to employ people. So the moment the money came from the family members, I'm talking to my own maternal uncle actually. He actually even started employing from the family itself, and this is grown. And today, 2 years ago, when we had a family gathering of a 7,000 entire family, the global family now, so many people come from. So he got recognized because the reason is because of him, in our family alone, more than 40 plus industry started in the same industry, started from him. Okay, started from one person. And all these people, now their generations, now when you look at the number of doctors, engineers, and professionals, is there at our grandchildren, because basically money came from this. Now all the things, because he was a kind of an expat, he went back from Saudi Arabia and he lost everything. Then somebody supported him to start this way. He should not have taken that. Around 40 plus family, 40 plus, maybe around 100 plus families now total when you calculate. The children got married. So if you think about it, is two decisions when he got funding from one is a relative funded him. Second one is he employed the people. And they started branches. Then they became independent unit. That's an amazing thing. Okay, so this actually, this so many examples. Actually, I can tell you. This one is exactly an angel fund part. According to me, that makes us great. Now, when you look at it as some other country, like in different Australia, and if you go to New York or you go to US, this is actually people say in general we don't do, but actually most of them. Why the few people get immediately their funding? The non-people, if you are in that circle, you get immediately funding. The strangers to get funding, very difficult. But nowadays, because thanks to the reality shows, thanks to the organized segment, you also get it. But my point here is this need to take, and even in your existing business, you are expanding because you already proved among your relatives and families and friends, the people know you and they recognize you with your skills and experience. You need to go for this one. So I want you to seriously introspect it, because other one is not acceptable. I don't know, somewhere people got that idea. Never do business with family. It's not true. Okay. Yeah, we'll go to that. Okay. Now focus on helping the business succeed. And they actually basically not really looking for, especially angel investors. They know this is startup. They know what to expect. It's not like a venture capital or not like a borrowing from the bank. I never support that, borrowing from the bank. I never. It's not at all a good idea, especially for online business. Not done. Okay, never ever think about even using a credit card or except credit card for a convenience. That again, you have to decide out. It's also not a good idea. But some of the tools, some of the service, they'll ask you credit card. Apart from that, even you make sure that you go back in time. Otherwise, that's drain out this one. So it's never take it. So it's take the investment only from the investors who can first of all, if you want the money, that's the best option to do it. Okay. So now to get if you don't have a non-cycle, non-angels, you can also go to wfbaforum.org, where you can register to get with a lot of angel associations. One city itself, there are different angels. Like in Doha, we have a Doha angels, we have a Qatar angels, we have Pearl angels, right? Different angels are there. So you can actually register with them, contact them. There are many angels given at 2 meetings, 3 meetings of funding. Some cases, the 3rd meeting, you definitely get a fund. There are people who know, so online meetings are also getting fund up to $10,000, $20,000. So it depends upon what kind of a business you are having. And especially on existing business, raising capital is the easiest one. That's one exactly. When I spoke about the startup, I never spoke about this much important for the financial aspects. But in existing businesses, raising the capital is the easiest one. Okay. Now, you can also do fundraiser with investors and with the consultants, do that. And these are the few examples people raise the capital on it. Now, another common thing is actually nowadays, it's a crowdfunding. I don't know how many of you really seriously look at this opportunity. So crowdfunding is one of the best things, especially if you have a credibility. So those who don't have a credibility, crowdfunding is a little challenge because some people have to trust you completely. But you say, I'm an existing business owner, I want to go for it. You can handle it. And the crowdfunding, people are making videos, people are making movies. Even that kind of a risky thing, they're raising a capital through crowdfunding. So how about your existing business expansion part? You tell about your story, you talk about campaigns, it's great. So you need to try this one. You can do that. And all of you know what is a crowdfunding. There are a huge number of people fund a smaller amount to give you a large amount. It's a beautiful concept. Now, even in that case, actually, you can also have a lot many ways raising the capital. Sometimes not necessary to give out your stake. Sometimes you can take as a product advance through a crowd platform. Like you said, now my manufacturer, I'm going online, I'm increasing the manufacturer because increasing the manufacturer, my cost will reduce. The guy can do large quantities, but I don't have a capital. So now I'm selling some product for $10. But when I manufacture this one, I can sell that product $8. So you can save it $2. The market price is $10. I can give you for $8. But I need that money in advance. So you can save it $2. You pay me $8 now. So there are many people raising a capital that way as an advance. Okay. So that's one of the way. So you say 3 months later, 6 months later, 1 year later, I give you products. So many crowdfunding platform people will help you to do that one. That's one. Second one is actually they fixed returns. You say Now I'm saving a cost instead of $10. I'm saving a cost of $2 there. $8 I'm able to do. So this $8, this $2 of profit will share with you $1 with you. You pay me $10. Once the product is ready, I can sell it for $10 and I'll make a profit. So $1 is my profit. 50% of the $1 the profit I share with you. This is another model. So like there are so many different models of raising a capital, and based on your ethical or based on your religious belief, you need to go and there are products also. Like if you believe in a Islamic finance, there are different products. There are different products of different jurisdictions. You need to follow that one as well. Okay, so it's amazing platforms. I'll give you a few platform examples where you can go and raise the capital as well. Okay, so vast network social media. So because the crowdfunding was quite challenging earlier, because you need to communicate with a lot of people, right? So, for example, you wanted to have $100,000 to raise it. You're taking a $10, 10,000 people record, right? Or you're taking $100. So these are the money in the crowdfunding people paid: $5, $1, $2, $9, $10, $100, and they don't die. So even if your business goes wrong, they will not affected much. That's a beautiful thing, right? Now, if you are an investor who invested like hard-earned money with you, and if you lose a business, if you lose an investor's business, you feel guilty, and of course you lost, but that's a pain. Here, even some of the risky thing, why the people are taking a risky thing here, someone paid $100, somebody paid $50, somebody paid $20. Not much an effect. If they get it, it's a great thing, right? So that's a good thing about crowdfunding. But the problem is we are not able to reach them in a large scale, right? Now we have an opportunity because of social media. We can reach out to a large number of people and through crowdfunding platform, and it is completely synced with the existing, the crowdfunding methods as well as social media. Okay. Now the crowdfunding platform, I would like you to go and open and see how it works, and do not lose your reputation when saying that is okay, because once your data, your credibility is important in the crowdfunding platform. Once you lose it, your credibility, nobody is going to fund you, because even though it's a small amount, people trust you and fund you. So crowdfunding platforms, these are the Kickstarter is the most common, all of you know. You can register and raise it. There are a few conditions all these people do. Be careful. For example, you wanted $10,000 to raise capital. Now through the campaign, you raise $9,000. They don't pay you. They'll pay. You cannot reach $10,000. They give back the money to the investors and say that this organizer could not raise a capital sufficient one, so we are returning back. We are not funding this project. This is one of the example. So you need to be careful, not exaggerating what exactly you wanted. Your campaign can do. Take a help of a consultant to do a campaign for you, like your different platforms. Even a small thing, like Patreon. I was going to talk to you about. On a YouTube day, Saturday onwards, you want to make so there's something called, now last week we discussed about faceless channel. You're not making your own channel, your own video, right? And you're using a Creative Commons to do it. Now I'm talking another strategy, like for example, it is talking about more number of videos, a branded channel. You wanted to have your own name, or you wanted to focus on some kind of a brand, especially a business or something. Now you need to make a video. So how do you make a video? You don't have a capital. Video making is also expensive. So many content to be done, and you need to make a revenue. So there's a Patreon model, which will be discussed that way. So different purposes, you have a different kind of a crowdfunding platforms where you can use and raise a capital. So I would like you to go and visit these sites and understand how it works, and also see the people how they're raising. You'll be surprised to see the homemakers and the students and retired people and even a startup companies, how they're raising a fund. That's an amazing opportunity. Okay, so you pay attention. This will be a great one. Okay. Now every crowdfunding platform specialize something, and they have their own niche, their own nature. They have demographics there. So please choose whichever you feel it is comfortable, and at least you explore these sites and go through and understand about it. Okay. Now, this we discussed, fund from friends and relatives also. Apart from the angel investment, there is an opportunity you can have. Now, financial bootstrapping is another method people use to raise the capital. You cannot say raise the capital, sufficient money to have a smartphone. And this has a huge difference method of a financial bootstrapping. And How you look at your finances is a matter here. And what are the things you have also is an important part. And the people has a different method of existing resources using for financial bootstrapping. Okay. The financial bootstrapping, to understand, there are a huge number of videos in YouTube. You can type in a financial bootstrapping, how to do, you can watch, and you need to watch which you can relate it. Okay, which you can relate it means when something you have it, you can connect with that, right? You cannot relate with everyone, based on our resources and existing when we have it. Now, I'll tell you an example how when I say based on how you look into. So, like for example, if I ask you your asset and liability list of yours. Now, how you treat as a liability or asset, it's a big difference, right? But if I ask you, your car, do you think is an asset? Some people say yes, it's an asset. Some people say it's a liability. So how you define that is important part. Okay. Now I feel it's a car, it's a liability. That's my thought about it. So when I was not thinking 15, 20 years ago that way, because it was in a young age, I want a sports car, I want this car, I want to buy this. Then when you mess up your finances, you really understand how much you lose the money. And it's that money is not giving you anything, and how much you lose. That's the reason there's a saying, 95% of the millionaires drive used car. Okay. So millionaires actually don't buy a new branded car. Okay, they buy a used car, 95%, very high percentage. So millionaires usually drive the used car because the major risk of the depreciation and everything they take care. So that's a car. You feel it is an asset or a liability. So you based on you to define it. House, many people consider as an asset, and many people actually it's a liability. Okay, so the car is actually somewhat many people agree, it's a liability. But the house, how it can be? But those who build the house, they lived in, based on that, they will also tell you this. Okay, and if you really look into, so there are different versions about it, okay, and how you look into that. But of course, you need to say why we all wanted money to live comfortably. Okay, for your comfort, your convenience, or your luxury, you're making a house. That's perfect. Then don't treat it as an asset. That's your comfort. You're investing for your comfort, right? So that way you need to define your financial status and financial outlook, your financial planning. If whether it's a small or a big, it does not matter. Now come to the financial bootstrapping. Now you have all these things with you. You have a car, you have a computer, you have a table, you have furniture, all the things. What are the assets you think it's not paying you anything? It's just a depreciating. All the things you think about, you can do it. That's one of the you can bootstrap. Okay. Another way of bootstrapping is there are many tech companies bootstrap they do additional activities, which is I personally don't recommend, because according to me, an entrepreneur should focus on what he's building. And now there are many people recommend, many of the consultants recommend person do consulting part-time, and part-time you invest the money, that part-time you work with this project. Of course, there are a lot of examples of a success. But according to me, my personal belief, it's a focus on something is very, very important. How many things you can focus also depends upon. Some people can do 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 business at a time. But if you're based on a capacity, you are really able to do, you can do the best for your company. At the same time, you're also doing at least the good to your client. So then that's a method. There are different companies who raise the capital, raise the business up, that a startup and did a bootstrapping. Many of the founders, many of the partners of that company work as a consultant or another job, raise the money on a monthly basis and worked it. So there are different methods. Another method of financial bootstrapping is United States is very common. It's not other part of the world. I'm not seeing much about it. People manage with their credit cards. Now, the credit card has a cycle of a 45-day cycle or a 35 days of cycle, and you get a different credit limit, maybe $10,000, $5,000, $4,000. People manage that. Okay. And beautifully manage without paying interest. Okay. So, but risky, you should know the calculation. You should know how to do it. So there are, again, when you go for financial bootstrapping on a credit card, they will show you so many methods. Be careful. So if you mess up, it'll be a big mess, because interest of a credit card is a huge. But there are a lot of people has used this method for raising a capital. They even plan for that way. I don't want an investor. I've seen a person. I don't want an investor. I work for this company, and based on my credibility, 2 years time, I can have this much of credit card. That credit card enough for me to get funding. So you're planning for 2 years, planned for showing his record without bouncing check, without increasing the revenue, expenditure is showing 2 years is planned, got the credit card, American Express runs MasterCard and Visa, auto the card he gets in 3 months time, he took it and made that, sometimes initially you don't get it, good money, so just plan it. So 1, 2, 3 years of a planned one. He said without an investor, without taking, without any, that's why also smart people are there. And there are, so you can see a lot of examples online. Many of the .com companies are bootstrapped, the credit cards. So there are. So what I would recommend is, which you can relate to. Go to a YouTube, type of financial bootstrapping, and start looking at the videos. You feel it, you can relate to that, read that, watch that, and you take a decision. So there are hundreds and thousands of companies who are doing this method. Okay. Now, in addition to that, you have another method of raising a capital through government grants. Now, if you had a company in UK or in Spain or France, all these companies, you had just a firm, you have a lot of grants now. The last 4 months or 5 months of expenditure, 80%, 90% the government is sanctioning to small and medium businesses. So that's one of the way. And apart from that, to startup, you have a grants available with the different missions, different plans of the company. Depends, especially on IT and online businesses. There are many companies, many governments are very positive about it, and they will help you to fund it and doing it. And you need to look into that. Not necessarily if your own country. There are different countries. These opportunities are there, and there are a lot of examples. You can raise a capital from another country if you can partner with them. Like Singapore, an example. If you have a 50% of the Singaporean, you can partner with them. They can get a good government grants from the Singapore government, and which is not only an industry. It is actually something you don't have to pay back. Okay, these are the things that there are many things, so many different parts of the world. Now, there's a Chile. There's many people from US go to Chile now, especially the startup. They go to Chile, and if you go with $100,000, if you go and start a company there, they give you $100,000. So initial stage, you need to go and live there. You need to go and live there 6 months. So you go to the Chile, stay in an apartment. That money you should have. You should stay in an apartment and stay and set up the company there, and $100,000 the government will give you to run the show. So within $100,000, you set up a company. You made everything is ready to go online, right? Or you have all the processes done, all the operations part, all the team is created. Your pilot project can be done. Everything can be done. So this way, there are so many options and opportunities online. You should open eyes and look into the different country you're from, different places you're from. You can actually raise the capital that way. Okay. Now, another thing is you can also look at the investors meet in various places, which you can also participate and do it. Now, based on this one, your existing business has gone online. You're with a investment, you are raising the capital. You're raising the capital to expand it to globally. So you need to set up a global online business, but make sure that is, when you're expanding to another place, the existing commercial license may not be enough. You're going online. You need to be legally get the payment on. Okay. Now, for that case, as we discussed a couple of days ago, you can also set up offshore companies for this purpose. You can also have offshore banking for the existing business as well. Okay. Now, we discussed about the initial part about how you go online with the technical part. Now, I also covered, when you go online, you might get another investor, another person funding. Now, very important for you to follow something. This is very, very, very careful. With my own experience, I'm talking to you. My client's experience, I'm talking to you. So one of the things, first thing, before I'm jumping to the point by point, you need to treat the investors in a completely, kind of a privileged clients, privileged customers. So most of the time, what happens is an investor, we are reachable to them. It's a good thing. And they'll call you when and there. You will actually feel you've given a priority to him. Of course, you need to give a priority because he invested your money, he funded this money, obviously. And he will ask you how the business is doing, how the profit is going, how much is the cash flow coming, and everything, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So this is a very common. It sometimes make a little uncomfort also. The moment he heard about something industry news, or maybe something about you, or something about your company, or sometimes something, it bothers him about his investment. Yes or no? So it's very, because an investor has the right to have that. And as an entrepreneur, you will be with the various things in different timings. you maybe have a pressure on some other targets, or you have another issue to deal with a client, or you're busy on your schedule. So many things are there. That's a time an investor calling that you may not be in a right mood. That might cause an issue. So how do you control it? Is how you plan it? Is this one exactly? If you don't do, you'll have a mess. If you don't do, I have experienced many times. If you have an investor, make sure that is you have someone to have an investor relation. Okay, you might have seen most of the website in the footer you go button called not investment opportunity. There's an investor relation. So click on investor relation, you can see that they're talking about. So every company, especially the .com companies, online companies, as a one or a department itself is there's all investor relations. At least one person should be for investor relation. Okay. So investor relation is what happens is the investors, even your friend or relatives is calling you for this one, nicely talk to them. Say that the entire statement, which I can just send to you and talk to, she's taking care or he's taking care. This is one. Secondly, you need to avoid that is, regularly give them. See, if you're regularly updating on a monthly statement or a quarterly statement, giving them, saying that is how your business is doing without their asking. And if you're giving a quarterly profit or you're giving a dividend on a monthly basis or quarterly basis, before they ask, the money should reach them. So that makes them a lot of comfort, and they know they build a confidence. Even to them, the investors and the person should be openly discuss about it. Transparently keep it with them. All the things happening. So it will save. You treat them like consumers. I mean, like a privileged customers. Another thing I just want to tell you, if you're planning to raise a capital, and instead of taking a one investor, that's one of the things which most of the people do. Hey, you want $100,000, or not $1 million. You make one person, 2%, you take it. So the problem here is, if somebody invests a huge money, they are always concerned about, what is happening about that and my money. So what is it? So if you have multiple investors, large numbers, so you got a $5,000 into, let's say, 20 people. So that's also $100,000 instead of one person pay you. So now $5,000 somebody investment, his approach for his investment, and one person invested $100,000. His approach to your company to investment is completely different, isn't it? So what do? You have one investor relation person is enough to handle 20 people, and of course they'll not have full-time job. They'll have another job. They can also handle the other operation aspect. They're also looking into the accounting activity. They can also constantly think about getting more investors and expansion part, increasing the profit. So all the things they take care. Now, I'll tell you a typical example. One of the companies which is, I invested small money. So he does this one. That's a very loss-making firm, and that's continuously, he's making loss, and everybody want to get out of this system. Now, but nobody made any problem with him, including myself. Why? Because he treats it that way. He regularly updates us, and he regularly sends a statement, and he calls us a meeting every year. Okay, and just because a smaller amount, I'm not going for a meeting. If it is a bigger amount, definitely I would have gone and asked an opportunity. How can I withdraw my capital? Because it's a small amount, it's not worth doing. And for him also, it's a convert. Even I'm not annual statement he sent. Okay, then he sent a statement saying it is. I thought I can at least make a break even this year. I don't even see the possibility next 3 years. I'm talking about. So he's very openly telling. So he has set his expectation on it, next 3 years. Then he showed little progress on a loss is reduced, not even a profit. So here, my point here is why me, including many like our investors, did not make a problem, not making a trouble to him, because when he's doing a loss. If it is a single investor, I would have asked him to sell off or stop your business, get me capital. But here he's running a business, so I have a small amount. I am not making a problem. Like many other persons, everybody has a small problem. So as in, you have a sufficient capital as well, right, to run the business. Okay. So every time when he asks it, sometimes he calls. Then I tell him, okay, you try, why don't you diversify? Sorry, I want additional capital. I said, don't ask me. Okay. So other things, say, that's a way we can have a good relation. So that's the reason I recommend, my personal experience, I tell you, multiple investors are the best. You can have 30, 40, 50, 100 investors, unless you're going for IPO. And IPOs, there's a different altogether, regulatory, there's a That's the thing, right? I'm talking about here when you're raising a capital. So you can have a small amount paying to more number of people to start your own online business. Your existing business is the best one. So that's one other thing I would like you to keep in mind. One is actually treat them as a good client and to have a relationship, someone to answer anytime, reply anytime, respond anytime. You should be reachable, I agree. And when you even that conversation comes up, okay, I just send you the statement, have a look, then call me back. Okay. And so that's the way you need to handle this. Otherwise, investors also make you trouble. That's the reason many other people think is, no, that's the headache, I'll go to the bank. Bank is a bigger headache. They're only nice first few months, but you're a problem, right? So that's the point. Okay. Now I'll give you a few practices of investor management activities before we conclude. The first one, try to understand the investor. Don't take money from anyone. Understand what is his position. He's in trouble. Don't take him. He's already going through under financial crisis. No, then don't take money from him, because there's always an issue. Will come back to you as well. He might give you some offer. He'll think, okay, this I can handle for 1 year. I'll invest you for 1 year. Can you give me high returns? His expectations are not very high, so that's not a good idea. So please understand his position. Okay. I also think about the pros and cons. If I take is what are the strengths, and sometimes you also should go for investor at least once in a year or once in a month or in a quarter. You can have a meeting with the investors, and it's worth it or not. So many of my investors know I have a few minutes of meeting. I got a lot of strategic idea, because when the third point, of course, the skillful people you should take it, and the experienced people you should take it. They can actually give it. Even you go and watch the Shark Tank, when the sharks agree to invest. Okay, sorry, those who don't know Shark Tank is a reality show of raising a capital, investment, startup companies and existing companies. You can raise a capital. A TV reality show. There's a US version, there's a UK version, there's an Australian version. Okay, I watched maximum the Australian version. I like Australian version much better than US version. But of course, all the US or an Australian version, all of them, the people are sitting there, millionaires and billionaires, especially they're self-made billionaires, self-made millionaires. They come with a lot of wisdom. They'll come with a lot of business acumen. So then they buy the company's stakes on a stage, on a reality show itself. Now, when some of the amazing ideas, the funding will be ready. 4 or 5 people are ready to fund. They have 7 investors. So the entrepreneur or the person who's seeking the funding, he got a multiple choice to take the money. Maybe sometime with a less margin. I mean, with the stake giving. I've seen many times people choose another person, even though it's a less money and more number of stake is going, because then they say, answer, I can have a meeting with you. Okay, 3 months and 1 month. Your skill I record. So that's also an investor comes not only just money, his skills, his experience, his contact, his network is a value. So that's an important, and his power. All the things also you need to think about an investor personally. So you need to make a list. What are the things you want from investors? You are a startup company. You want a person with a business experience, a person with investment experience, a person with powerful, a person with influential, a person with branding. And sometimes you say, so-and-so invested in this company. That company has a value, right? So think about that aspect and do that pros and cons. Then think about investors, identify one. Okay. Now, this, as I mentioned, a robust public relation campaign that I told you about, treat as a CRM and kind of activities, send them a statement, update them regularly, go to the newsletters to them regularly. This is a very important part. Okay. What are the recent investor activities happened around us? So there are so many things, around us, happening. So look at what happened at that event, who participated in that event, and how the social media activities are on. You will come across what is happening in around the world. Okay. And another important, when you go to the investment, once you get an investor as well, you should be prepared to answer all of the follow-up questions, even during the initial question itself. Sometimes some meetings already say agreed everything. Before he take a decision, usually all the investors do, they'll have additional question to ask. So it just be another meeting may not record, sometimes instantly WhatsApp message. You should have a good answer to give. That's an important part. Okay. And as an entrepreneurs, we do mistakes. And if you're not doing mistakes, it's a very, very rare case. 99.99% We do mistakes, number one. Number two, many strategies won't work. Some strategy works, some strategy don't work. And to the investors, don't be afraid to admit the mistakes, because it's a part of the company. You are running the company and you did a mistake. When you did a right thing, you get profit. When you do a mistake, you lose it, but you need to admit. This is many people hide. That will lead to the issue of a trust. That's the bigger challenge. This admitting your mistakes is an easier one. I know sometimes our ego, sometimes our mental toughness will not allow. How do I say he lose money? Now he'll be angry for some time. But if you hide this one happen, the first question later he'll ask you, why you did not tell me? Okay, why you did not inform me? And he lose a trust with you. So trust is the most important between entrepreneur and investor. So going and putting in a pleasant way, presenting, it's always is a better one. Okay, so don't worry. Okay. So at this point, as I already told you, treat as an investor like a valuable customer. You give them all the details, all the access, all the things to be there. Okay. And you also should look at the risk of their part. Now, when you're presenting in a very glossy way, I'm going to make your investment 30% growth in 3 years' time, 5 years' time. You also should evaluate and risk part and present them. If this, sometimes you can have an unseen, like in a COVID-19, so many investors lost money. In Warren Buffett, I don't think so. He'll be there next 10, top 10. He lost a lot of money, right? I don't know how many billions. So we don't see in so many things. And his so many things will have. I'm not talking about that one, but in addition to that, you will have some kind of information. If this things goes wrong, maybe the government changes, the weather is going to be bad, and every season you have a weather issue, or maybe some kind of a war is about to happen. All the things you may also include in the risk assessment, even to present to the investors. This is a good thing on it. Okay, and you also think about the deliverability. Talking about expectation and objectives. Actually, based on a trust, as I mentioned, takes care of that one. Okay. Now, your investment objective. This is one of the questions usually asked by the investor. Okay, how much money are you looking for? For what? Okay, that's one thing. So for what, you have a right answers. And how much is the detail you can say, that'd be good, but you have to have a thread. Immediately you say, I'm looking for $100,000 or $500,000 or $1 million. For what? Setting up a team, setting up a business plan, as a promotional plan, campaigns, and I need to enter the manufacturing aspect. Whatever you're planning to do, and transparently tell them. And it's also important not to diversify without telling him. He said that is now, because the season, I got a lot of orders. Our got on manufacturing work is slow because of the season. So I'm using that fund to this purpose. Like that, you need to inform. Sometimes the contract say, your investment contract say, you cannot use like that money for other purposes. Okay, this is a very important part. Okay, so in writing, you should take an approval according to me. Then tomorrow he'll not blame you. Okay, if it is based on the numbers, amount you are doing. Secondly, if you are large, you're getting a venture capital or you're getting a large amount of angel investors, usually your board of meeting, your auditing report, your accountant is in touch with one of the investor relations. So they should be updated this one. There's somebody, your representation will be there with the company. You know that some of the venture capital, they become a board member. So the decisions that venture capitalists know what the decisions happening. So that way, a kind of a representation is there. You need to take a permission from them or approval. Importantly, do that one. Okay. Now, you also show different calculations to them. Not one calculation. Everybody, especially the smaller investment, when you go every monthly, how much is the profit, quarterly, how much is the profit. So don't show one statement. According to me, I always make in a presentation time. Most of the time, when I become lazy, I don't do. But actually, I notice when I have a best case scenario, average case scenario, worst case scenario. So you are actually presenting as a 3, and the best case scenario will look very good. An average scenario and worst scenario. So you're basically presenting all the 3, and the investors will be able to understand all the categories, all the things. Show the calculation, you do a simulation, and show them. If I get 1,000 clients in a month, and this is my expenditure, and if I increase to 1,200, I don't have to increase more number of manpower because those additional 200 customers I can additionally make around 70 to 80% profit. This is a point you should be understanding and explaining. I'll repeat this one. This is a very important point. An existing business owners who make a find an investment. Now you say you're a restaurant. Now you want to go for online. You are going to delivery online, and plus you're also target online. Now you say, I have this many table. I have 100 customers is coming in. The 100 customers comes up. I make around 5% profit. Now I get additional 10 customers. From that, you can make additional 30% profit. How? Because the additional 20% coming to your place, your rent is not increasing, your expenditure is not increasing, your your staff cost is not increasing. So additional customer is coming, you make more profit. So this is a point you need to highlight to the investors. That is, now I'm using a campaign money, how I'll be able to get the more profit. So return on investment and benefit, you always should show properly to him with all the case scenarios. Okay. And this approvals, as I told you about, it's important for you taking an approval and doing it as well. Okay. And this is utilize the digital tools to show him the access some of the e-commerce portal. When you take an e-commerce portal, there is investor login also. So you tell him that is, you can access my system, and any live you can access what's happening. Investors love this. You know why? Because it's very transparent. That is exactly now every company is talking about transparency. Everybody wanted to know what is happening around, and everybody wants to know. Earlier, one department to another department talk about it. One team to another team do not talk about it. And marketing department separate meeting, account department separate. They don't. But now things got changed. Now people are having a transparency is the world. So an investor should able to see and access, can see so many things. He'll be happy about it. Same with an organization. That's one of the things, major management change happening in the world. So within the organization, it's making a very transparent and showing that one. Okay, so make sure that you digitalize even their investment activities. So you should, when you go for an e-commerce solution, when you go for a aggregator one, or you are going for you give them an access for them live update instead of not only a support person, you give this access. They love this one. Okay, so with this we'll end for the day, and so tomorrow we'll continue about how we promote our online businesses. And Saturday, we have a big day about YouTube Masteries coming up. So I believe today, existing business taking online, you had a good session to understand about it. And also covered the, major people are not going online because with the capital issue, that's the reason involved. That's, there's an opportunity for you to find a funding and promoting on it. Okay, so thank you so much, all of you, to be part of that. I'll see you on the questions I'll take in the mastermind group about this. I know that today we'll have a fantastic questions happening like yesterday, day before yesterday. So I'll see you in a short while from another 5 minutes from now in the mastermind group. Thank you so much, guys. See you tomorrow with the promotional activities of how you promote your existing business or any online businesses, starting from SEO to another 25 points tomorrow we'll be covering, inshallah. Okay, thank you.